Hey, what's going on, everybody? Commander Crane here. We are back with another Pioneer deck tech. So today, we're going to be talking about $50 Golgari Midrange in Pioneer. I'm really excited to bring the list to you. It's been a hot minute since we've done a budget deck, so this is going to be very, very fun to talk about. As always, at the end of the video, let me know in the comment section below. Do you like the list? Do you hate it? What would you change? And as always, if there's other videos you want to check out on the channel, other deck techs, there's plenty of them on the channel, so feel free to check those out. All right, so this is kind of a little bit of a viewer submission. I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden on the name, and I feel terrible right now. But they've been suggesting doing a Golgari deck for a while. And I really wanted to get around to one. I've done a few different Golgari lists on the channel as a whole, and I finally decided, let's go ahead and do that. And I think this list is actually very, very good. Again, like most Pioneer decks, the only restrictions for the most part is like the dual lands and then a couple other random cards. Like obviously there's gonna be no shield druids in here today, but overall I think this list is very strong. So let's go ahead and hop into it here. As some of our main creatures that we're playing 3 Scavenging Ooze, 3 Deeproot Waitfinder, and 3 Glissa Sunslayer. So Scavenging Ooze, obviously just a staple card for a lot of different mid-range decks. Deeproot Waitfinder is kind of a card that not a lot of people really remember from March of the Machines. I think it's just a very efficient card overall, has very relevant abilities. Well, obviously the main one, common damage to a player battle, which is just fantastic. And then Glissa obviously Glissa's so good. Honestly, you could make the argument to go to 4. Easily the best card in the deck. First Strike and Death Touch makes it impossible for people to attack really into it or block it. So yeah, Glissa Sunslayer, absolutely fantastic Magic card. I actually talked about it in my top 10 most underrated Pioneer cards. I think it was like number 3 on the list or something like that. So yes, Glissa, very, very powerful card. Some of our other creatures that we're playing here, we're playing 4 Graveyard Trespasser, 4 Murderous Rider, and 2 Desecration Demon. So Graveyard Trespasser, obviously just a staple card in black mid-range decks. Murderous Rider, very good, obviously, taking out creature planeswalkers. Then we get a nice efficient body on the other side as well. And Desecration Demon is just the card that, if our opponent's not really playing removal, or at least removal that can hit Desecration Demon, this card's just going to take over the game for them. For us, it's a big, giant flyer. It gets bigger, and then if we take out all of our opponent's creatures, then we just smack them with the Desecration Demon. So, very, very, it's a fun throwback card for sure, but I really do like it in the list overall. Mostly playing it due to budgetary reasons. We couldn't fit in Shield Druid or even like a Vraska Golgari Queen, so I decided to put in the Desecration Demon. So, following up all of our creatures, we've got some of our removal and, different instants and sorceries. We're playing 4 Duress. Also, this is the best Duress art. You can play other Duress, but you get bonus points if you play this Duress. Just figured I would throw that in there. We're also playing 4 Fatal Push, obviously a staple removal spell of the format, and then 2 Abrupt Decays. Abrupt Decay is just, it can pretty much hit a little bit of everything, CMC 3 or less. Most decks have relevant permanents that are CMC 3 or less. So, Abrupt Decay, absolutely fantastic. And then rounding out our instant and sorceries, we're playing 2 Go for the Throats, 2 Languish, and 3 Invoke Despair. Invoke Despair, banned in Standard, but it's still a very good budget card to be playing. Absolutely backbreaking for a lot of different decks in the format. Really just any deck. You play this, and it's just a blowout. Languish is the removal spell of choice that I chose. There's a couple different ones that you can choose. I know a lot of people choose like E2 Extinction? Yeah, E2 Extinction. They also like to choose, what's the one? Destroy CMC 3 or less. Ritual of Soot. There's that one too, which, honestly, you can play really any of them. The reason I chose Languish is there is occasionally some creatures that you can't hit with Languish that you can, that you can't hit with Ritual of Soot, you can with Languish. It's actually funny, I don't remember who it was, but it was a couple months ago at my local game store. We were talking about Languish versus Ritual of Soot, and I was like, oh no, you should play Languish. And they're like, no, I'm gonna play Ritual of Soot. And then they died to a creature because they couldn't hit, it was like a 4-drop, and then they couldn't kill it, so then they died to it. And I was like, oh, should have played Languish. But anyways, still both fantastic, and I decided to just play 2 board wipes in the deck. So, alright, that is most of our cards here. We're going to go ahead and hop into our land base here, which is very, very simple today. We're playing 4 Llanowar Waste and 4 Restless Cottage. Obviously, you saw with the thumbnail, Restless Cottage is the new Manland from Wilds of Eldraine, which is very, very cheap. It's a great rate too. Enters tapped. Tap it for black or green, and then for 2 black green, make it a 4/4 until end of turn. And then when it attacks, create a food token and exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. Like that's just an incredible rate. Just staple dual lands of the format. There's a couple other options for budget dual lands, but these are personally the ones that I think are the best that we could play in the deck. And then rounding out our lands, we're just playing 7 forests and 9 swamps is our spicy land of the day. You know, I imagine Golgari is like kind of that creepiness, you know, a little bit. So that's why I decided to do the Innistrad Midnight Hunt basics, which are absolutely fantastic. I really like that swamp, by the way. The swamp is like, it's like super detailed, you know, and I just really like the swamp. I think that's very nice. So, all right, that's the entire main board. We're going to hop into the sideboard guide here. So, obviously, this is kind of the section where I talk about the different cards that you could play in the sideboard, because sideboarding for everybody's different. You know, people like different cards. Everybody's local metagames look different. You know, so sometimes one card that's really good in someone's metagame might not be good in the other one. So I kind of just go over some overall general guidelines of what we should be sideboarding. So Graveyard Hate obviously is a staple of something that we should have in our sideboard. Couple different options here. Best ones for budget option being Tormod's Crypt, Soul Guide Lantern, even Grafdigger's Cage. Those are the ones that I would personally recommend for a deck like this. Obviously, you know, non-budget, you could definitely play Leyline of the Void if you'd like to, but at least for budget, that's what I would recommend. And then removal for metagame. I never know how to really label this, but essentially this means removal that's more specific to specific decks in the metagame. So for instance, like against mono white, Rave Enfeeblement is absolutely fantastic. Noxious Grasp, good against the white decks and the green decks, so obviously good against like mono green as well. That kind of thing. Just playing cards that are very specific to specific decks. God, that just sounds terrible saying that. But anyways, linear removal. We'll just call it that, linear removal. And then Silver Bullets, obviously, at the end, talking about cards like Damping Sphere, which is a great budget option. Cards like Necromentia. You know, if our opponent's playing a combo deck that relies on one card, and we Necromentia that combo piece, they might not even be able to combo anymore. So that's kind of what I mean for Silver Bullets, just cards that are extremely backbreaking for specific decks in the metagame. Also, if you'd like to check out what I'm currently playing in my sideboard, the deck list is in the description below, and then obviously I go ahead and put the sideboard that I would currently play. But again, if you'd like to change things up, nothing wrong with that at all. So that is the entire deck. This one we flew by. I think a lot of it was we played a lot of 4-ofs, and we didn't play a ton of different lands, so we absolutely flew through this one. My goodness, I'm sorry. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. This was a very fun deck tech to do. This was also a viewer submission idea. If there's any ideas that you have for the channel in decks that you'd like to see, just let me know in the comment section below. I'm Commander Crane. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.